Talk to me. Talk to me. Why aren't you? Oh, I'm supposed to talk to you. Oh, okay. Well, I'll figure that out. But I guess I'll start with the IMDb plot and get unconfused here. So, when a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand, they become hooked on a new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces. All right. So, yeah, I'm not going to reach out my hand and talk to anybody here, but I will talk to you guys here. And about a movie that has been much talked about. I kind of, wish I didn't have to wait so long to see this movie. I feel like, that there's been a couple of much talked about movies, and not going to theaters anymore has kind of put me behind. I do get screeners of some, but some of these really big ones like this one has become. It seems like I've always had to wait for these reviews, so I'm glad I finally get to talk about this one and got to see it. Because all I kept seeing is all these positive reviews and how everybody liked it, and I guess one of the things that I seem to remember seeing a lot is how scared it made everybody, and so forth. So um, I was really eager to see, how bad this would scare me, how much this would scare me, which is really hard to do. As probably some of you old school horror fans out there know. Um, Horror movies, the older you get and the more you've seen, it's just harder and harder to be scared. It's harder and harder to find, just something new enough, new ideas and so forth, but it is definitely hard to be scared. Um, you know, Jump scares, seem to be the thing and try to get people. And, I'll admit to being gotten sometimes, but it's mostly because my lack of paying attention and just being like, oh, I was just not into the movie, into what was going on, and then it got me. um, that's not to say that this movie is really into jump scares, and I guess that's one of the things I might have was thinking about, as everybody seemed to say how scary it was, but I guess they meant more scary being kind of creepy in that sense, and definitely has some interesting moments. But we'll get into that in a moment here. Just a little bit about what's happening in this movie. Um, Let me see. Her name immediately, but uh, basically, you have here is another group of young people who start doing something they probably shouldn't, and yeah, it is a weird kind of game that they started playing, if you want to call it a game or thrill ride that they're trying to create here. Um, but it is um, not what you would expect. You kind of and you see the girl here as she sits down to do it. You really don't believe that anything's gonna happen. It's kind of you know I guess you can kind of relate it to playing a Ouija board. You sit down and you start all together, and you kind of hold hands and put your hands on the dial there and roam it around, and you're always assuming that one of your friends is kind of controlling the thing, and then um, maybe something happens, maybe something doesn't. So it kind of reminds me of that kind of thing, but obviously in a very different way. So basically, a group of friends kind of sits down, and there's this weird hand in the middle with all these kind of symbols on it. And like they said at the beginning, it's supposed to be an embalmed hand. And you hold on to it, and you say, "Talk to me." And I think she said something else. And basically, before you know it, a spirit is going to appear in front of you. And they do this several times, so it's several, it's all kinds of different spirits. Some obviously look more ghostly like and more intimidating than others. And, it is, maybe some are more friendly than others, or you never know basically what is going to happen. And obviously, the first time you see it, it kind of, obviously going to freak you out. If you're just there with your friends and all of a sudden, I don't really believe this, and all of a sudden there's a ghost in front of you. Okay, so it freaks you out, and it may or may not freak the audience out. I don't know. But then, I guess the longer you hold on and the longer you have this ghost in front of you, the more intense things can happen. And basically, it allows that ghost, or maybe even another ghost, to kind of take control of you. And when this girl takes the hand and kind of becomes the ghost, it kind of sets its target on this one kid and one young guy there, and it kind of freaks him out. He definitely gets scared, but maybe everybody else is in the room is kind of like they're just more excited that it's kind of working or whatever, and they're really not seeing the danger and what may come, and it kind of sets the stage for them to do it again. And obviously, this one kid is become a target, and obviously this one girl, who is a really good friend of his, um, is basically becomes a favorite of the ghost. And what's interesting here, well, there's several interesting things, but one of the interesting things here is that um, they kind of go from that intense scene, then almost a montage of uh, different kids, and they're not kids, young adults, um, taking a turn, and everybody's kind of taking a turn, and kind of doing their thing and holding the thing, and um, having kind of quick different things going on here. But obviously the focus is on this one young woman, and then eventually this boy. So I know, probably a lot of people have already seen this movie, but since it is still kind of new, I don't want to get too much into spoiler territory. Um, but I guess the quick sum of things is something bad is eventually going to happen to this boy, and you know the girl obviously feels bad about it and wants to fix it, and then obviously this ghost or whatever you want to call it is still around, and then it's how do we reverse things? Why did most of the other times when everybody else was doing their thing and grabbing this hand or whatever, nothing really bad happened, and why is it in this one circumstance that something bad happened? So it's kind of trying to figuring out what is happening here, and there's I guess there's reasonings behind it, and we'll find that out as the movie goes on. I don't want to jump into that and kind of give anything away. For you guys who haven't seen it, you guys can kind of watch it and see basically the reasoning of why all this is happening. Kind of had thoughts of some other movies. I don't want to give them away because then that might get you into spoiler territory or thinking about other things. But definitely had me thinking of at least one other movie that kind of been out this year, and kind of had a similar other dimension kind of movie thing, if that's a hint. Um, anyway, uh, so kind of going back to whether it's scary or not. No, I wasn't scared. No, I didn't fall out of my seat or anything like that. Um, did it have some kind of creepy, freaky moments? Definitely. Um, I think one of the creepiest things they do is when it kind of gets intense, the girl's eyes, and obviously all their eyes kind of turn really black, and it is a creepy look, and it is a scary look. So definitely, if maybe you're not a horror fan, have ever seen that before, I definitely could see how that would kind of scare you, freak you out, maybe even reach some people's nightmares. Um, I enjoyed it. I definitely thought it added added, I guess, that kind of scariness, creepiness to the movie and to the moment. Definitely, um, definitely part of it was not only the eyes; it was the facial expressions, that kind of that moment when the ghost kind of took over the body and so forth. One movie I will kind of throw out there, and I think maybe some horror fans kind of is kind of like it's kind of like the Evil Dead. When whatever person is going becomes um, that demon, that evilness. It's kind of the same thing. You kind of take over, and you kind of have that different body language and different look and no, none of these people in this movie kind of go to that extreme where they definitely look like a demon, ghost, whatever. Uh, but just kind of that body language and kind of that, the way they move their head, the way they kind of change the style of their speech, um, and just some of the movements they do, and they obviously start acting a hell of a lot creepier. Um, so from that angle, I'll give it a little credit. You know, I don't know if it's the most terrifying thing I've seen recently or not. Um, I don't know. It is always hard, and I don't want to, I don't like to take anything away. Some stuff, I realize scares some people, some stuff doesn't scare other people's. Some people are scared by clowns, so a clown horror movie works well with them. Uh, some people don't like the dolls, so that kind of scares them. So, and then the jump scares get some people and don't get others. It's a matter of, it is there. I always look for kind of more of the intent here and kind of credit the film when I can at least see where they've tried. And definitely there's a foundation of kind of, like I said, it's not scary in the jump scare kind of way, at least not to me. But definitely if there's creepiness into it, I'll give you that. Um, but like I said, you've seen some other horror movies, you kind of get that feel that, like to me, it was Evil Deadish kind of in that way when the ghost kind of takes over. Um, so I've seen it before, or so I can relate to it, so it doesn't necessarily scare me or anything. Um, but it might scare others. Like I said, the black eyes was cool. The girl does a really good job when she becomes this ghost or whenever she's taken over by whatever. Um, and there are some intense moments, definitely. Um, but I don't know. I kind of, you know, it is just it becomes increasingly hard, I guess, with movies and the more you watch because you always can seem to relate it to something. Like I said, I give it credit for trying to create a different kind of game, I guess, if you want to call it a game situation with talking to this hand and that in itself is weird and a bit creepy. I mean, you're really gonna touch a hand that's embalmed. I don't know, but these kids thought it was fun and whatever. Um, so I kind of I'll give it some credit for kind of creating a different kind of situation, a similar, but I say many a times I guess lately, a similar but yet somewhat different situation here. Like I said, I can kind of relate it to like sitting down and doing the Ouija, but this is different, and so they kind of created something different here, and kind of sets up a good intense, kind of scary. I mean, for some people, scene, and several different times, and then as far as where it goes, I guess I was kind of eager to figure out, what was the backstory. They kind of try to twist it a little bit towards the end, um, but I kind of, I admit I'm not the best at figuring out twists, but I kind of figured when this certain moment was going to happen. Basically, she has a choice, and I kind of figured the choice that she was going to make, and I don't know how, if they were really trying to make it a twist or trying to hold that she wasn't going to do what she ended up doing. Uh, but I kind of, you kind of figured that she was going to end up doing what she was doing. So, in that respect, I guess, I don't know if how well they were trying to hide that or not. Um, that you kind of figured that was going to happen. And then that kind of, then opens the door a little bit more to figure, seeing the bigger picture here and seeing what happened here. Um, and the reason that this trip kind of works and why, what these other ghosts, there's other ghosts that are there, and what their ultimate game is here, what the ultimate thing that's going on kind of in this, other dimension and so forth. Um, so it is a little bit, complex going there. There are things to for the audience to discover, which was good. It was good to kind of go through that little bit of mystery, a little bit of figuring out, why she was kind of selected more than anybody else, and why this other, her friend was kind of selected. Um, there are some rough moments. The boy is gonna get, you guys know that I'm into the blood and guts moments, and he's gonna take a beating. He's gonna uh, get quite beat up. So, if you're not into those moments, I don't really count those as scare moments. Those are definitely some intense moments, and he's gonna take a quick beating to himself, and there's a moment or two where some other people kind of get caught in the mix as well. But he is definitely going to take a butt whooping, and definitely look like he took a butt whooping. So that in itself, while not, I don't say it's scary, but is intense and might not be for everybody as well. So a little bit of a mixture there. Um, but yeah, I definitely a good movie. Definitely, I could see why lots of people are talking about it. I don't know whether it was confirmed or not. I know I saw lots because there's obviously lots of hype from the movie. So I don't remember seeing whether it was confirmed or not, but obviously there are ideas for another movie. I don't know if it was supposed to be a prequel or not. Um, but if there is another one of these movies, talk to me again, talk to me some more. I don't know. Um, why are you talking to me? I don't know. Go on with the names. But there might be more to come. We might not have seen all. And I know this is, I believe, Australian. I don't remember. I don't know if, a movie group that we're familiar, um, caught part of this or not. Um, but I believe the filmmakers definitely had interest already, had ideas for another part. So, I guess in that regards, if you haven't seen this, and I would definitely assume that we're going to see more. So if you haven't seen this, you may want to watch it just to get prepared for something else. If you want to wait till a sequel comes out and watch both of them together, I mean, that's fine. Um, so, I guess at the end of the day, it was a huge scare fest that, it seems that everybody said. Probably not. Definitely going to have some moments and tense moments. Um, Definitely some creepiness there. Um, but, I can see how there are moments that might freak some out. Um, and so forth. But it's, am I gonna throw it? I don't like to give things like the scariest movie of all time and or one of the scare like, because like I said, it's all to a matter of interpretation, and then to a lot of horror fans that have seen a lot of horror, it's really hard to be scared. Maybe to others not. And definitely some old school horror definitely holds more to that title more easy, because there weren't things like that when a lot of people saw those movies. So um, definitely gives you that scare there, and more of an original scare than when you've seen lots of things already happen. Um, but anyway, definitely a good movie. Definitely worth seeing. was it that long? No, it was about an hour and a half. So not too bad on the timing there. Um, so yeah, if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna give it 3.5 pools of blood. Um, I liked where they went with it. Maybe if I didn't read so much about the hype, maybe I've taken it a different way or viewed it in a different way. Um, but definitely worth watching if you have not seen it, and definitely give you something to talk about. um, and that's 3.5 pools of blood out of 5. Um, so yeah. HorrorSgoryReviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, written and video. Definitely more video lately than not. Um, so like, subscribe, do all those things that everybody wants you to do. If not, no worries, no problem. Also trying to post lots of shorts and stuff to have fun with. So if you are subscribed or looking for other stuff, head over there and check those out, along with the other reviews. Also, Twitter, Facebook information down below if you want to join me there. If you have something you want me to review, look at, and so forth, or just talk horror there, feel free to do so. And of course, in the comment section, feel free to share your thoughts. You can talk to me there. And definitely, I'd be interested in to know that would you grab hold of that hand, whether you want to talk to it or not. Regardless, I don't really think I want to touch too many embalmed hands. Yuck. And definitely bad stuff is definitely going to happen like it happened here. So, would you dare? I don't know. Throw that in the comment section if you please. With that, I guess I will talk to you guys on another review.